Hi guys, it's a Thursday and I'm just leaving work and I thought I wanted to speak quickly about spending time with God. And if I look yellow, it's because there's a yellow bus right in front of me, so it's just like reflecting yellow. But anyway, so I wanted to talk about spending time with God and what it looks like, because I know if you haven't done it before, it can be a bit awkward. It basically, spending time with God is allocating like a specific period of time or block of time in your day, every single day, for God. And it should be every day, because I mean, if you just think about somebody in your life that you absolutely love and are close to, so it could be your kids or your husband or your best friend or your mom, whoever it is, and you see them every day, right? And if not, then you'll speak to them every day. So as much as you want to do that with your loved one, how much more should you do it with God? It's every single day. He wants you to spend time with him because he loves you so much. And it's just, I know it gives God so much joy for you to just decide, I'm going to just hang out with you. That's all he wants is you to just literally just spend time with him, you know, just like any other parent would. Like he just wants your time, like just even just to just sit and just do nothing and just decide, all right, I'm here and I'm with you. And I know that that gives God so much joy. Well, first of all, when you're spending time with God, I think it's best done alone, when you're by yourself, because otherwise then no one else is distracting you and you can fully focus on him. And the other thing is, I would set the tone by sort of praying in the beginning, just to give him that time and just say, here, this is your time, and just, you know, may I hear your voice and no one else's voice, and silence the voices in my head and stuff like that. Just basically giving it to him so he can run it, you know, basically he can run the show. And during this time, it could be anything. It's different things for different people, right? It could be, you could spend that time praying. When I say praying, for most people, praying involves certain things, like it's, you know, you're praising him and you're giving him thanks and bringing whatever issues it is or concerns or whatever to him, and giving it over to him. Or you could just literally just talk to him. And when I say talk to him, I mean talk to him like you would your close friend or your parent or your close friend if they were right before you. Like literally just talk to him about whatever you want to talk about. God is concerned about every single part of your life, big and small, regardless of what the detail is. If it means something to you, he knows, and it means something to him. Or even if you don't know how to pray about it, talk to him about that as well. Instead of talking to somebody else, talk to him. You know, just don't overthink it. Just talk to him like you would anybody else. It's not that complicated, and he knows you, absolutely. And the cool thing about that is you can be 100% honest with him and know that there's no judgment, you know, over what you're saying. He's the absolute best person basically to be talking to about anything. And it's also the best because he can do something about it. Most of the time you're talking to someone about something, but they can't do anything about it. And God, your Father, he can. You know, he can turn a situation around or help you out with whatever it is, or give you peace with whatever situation you're dealing with. Or during that time you could decide to just meditate on him, just lie there quiet and just think about his goodness and the way he's blessed you. Basically just have him on your mind, you know, just meditate on him. For others, it's reading the word. I'm not very good at reading the word, and that's something I absolutely struggle with, but for some that is what it is for them. Like spending time with God means spending time in the word, and that's where they hear him and stuff like that. It's so important to spend time with God, because the more time you spend with him, then the better you get to know him. And just like you would with any other person, when you get to know somebody, you know what they're like, you know what they're about, you recognize their voice, you recognize certain things that they do, you get to see their habits or see what they act like. Same thing with God. The more time you spend with God, the more you'll hear him in your own special way, because when he speaks to all of us, he speaks to us differently, and it's very specific to each individual, and it's perfect. Like it's absolutely perfect. It's always something that you yourself would understand, or that's something that resonates with you specifically. So the cool thing about that is then you'll start to see God's hand and hear his voice in whatever special way that you hear it in your life in different situations. But you have to spend time with him, because if you don't spend time with him, then you don't recognize his voice and you don't get to see exactly what he's doing in your life. I mean, he's always moving in your life, but then you really get to see it. You recognize him, you recognize it when he moves, you know, in your life. And it's amazing. It's so cool. It's ridiculously cool. It has to be one of the best experiences in life when you're seeing God working in your life, I'm telling you, nothing comes close to that, to the joy that you get when you actually see God's hand in your life and hear him. So don't overthink it. Just take time out of your day to spend time with God, doing whatever comes most naturally to you, meditating, praying, or even listening to music. By the way, you could also have maybe a space that works best for you. For me, that's my car. In this space, I'm always by myself. Here I pray. Here I talk to him about whatever is bothering me. Here I hear his voice. Here is where I obey him the most. Like, even if it's just on the road. You know, with God, he expects you to, when you hear his voice, no matter how silly what he's telling you is, just the act of obedience means so much to him. So for me personally, when I'm driving around is when I really hear him, and I obey every tiny thing. If it's let this person go, if it's this and that, you know, I'm at my best with him in this car. I know that sounds silly, but it can be anywhere. It could be your room, it could be the toilet, I don't know, like it could be anything. God is everywhere, why not? But for me, this is my space. This is the space where I'm with him all the time, and I grow spiritually a lot in this car, more than anywhere else, more than church or anything. For me, this space is my spiritual space with him. So just find a place and a time that works for you, that you can be alone with him and just spend time just receiving the love that he has to give you. And it may be awkward at first, especially if you don't typically do it, but then after a while you'll start to enjoy it. And I would say take your time. Don't do something don't do it if you're in a rush, although even every little bit counts, you know. But that time that you allocate, just make sure it's a time that you can take your time and just enjoy him. And yeah, it's an amazing thing to do. God loves it. He loves spending time with you, and you will only grow and be blessed by that time that you spend with him. So